Call a special meeting of the Historic Preservation Review Board to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Webb?
Aye.
Mr. Weaver?
Here.
Mr. Neese? He's
Here.
absent.
Oh, I said Geese.
No. Mr. Giesler?
Here.
And Mr. Johnson?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. The purpose of today's meeting is to consider a COA from Miss Alice Wade. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the committee members for carving some time out to make the meeting. Ms. Wade, if you would, just come up to the podium, tell us a little bit about your proposed project, and then any discussion, any questions we have, we may ask, and then we'll proceed on it from there.
Sure. Well, first off, thank you all for doing this. I know you're once a month, and it's not supposed to happen until September, so I do appreciate it. So my property is 335 Gibson Street. It's a cottage that was built in 1940, from what I hear. It's directly across from the head of the Virginia Creeper Trail. So I don't know if you walk the trail at all, but if you look straight across, it's white. It's right next to the Good Pastures fence. We actually just put in a brand new fence. We split the cost, so little by little, trying to just upgrade everything. So I have done some repairs. I replaced the roof to what it was there originally when I first bought the house. But the gutters, the fascia board is all not well done, and the gutters are falling off the house. So rather than go with traditional K-style gutter, I'd really love to do the half round. I think it would make the house pop. I'm in the historic district. I just think it would be really nice. I'm trying really hard to make this house really stand out over there, and that's really what it's all about. Okay. So I took a photo of the house, and I think it should have popped up here on my iPad that I can just show you.
We've actually got those.
Oh, well, there you go. I didn't even look to my right. Okay.
I lived there for 6 years when I moved in.
Did you really?
You lived
That was
here?
my first house.
All
I
right.
rented.
Interesting. When
He's
was
responsible for.
Yeah, the guttering.
No, I thoroughly cleaned those gutters.
Well, yeah, the fascia board, you can't really see from that. It's like, I don't know whether they're 2 by 2s, 1 by 1s, and literally they've fallen off and been just nailed back up by a thread. So everything does have to come down and be redone.
So you're replacing the fascia, just like for like,
yeah.
Repainting it white.
Correct.
And in the guttering, you're replacing with 6-inch half round that Eric Smith, I believe, is the one you've been working with.
And he actually just texted me last evening that he had done, I'm not going to have it on here, but he did a home, he said across from the tavern. And did you just see me across? I was taking a photo. Yeah. So it's not the house across from the tavern, it's the tall one across more from the parking lot near your home, I believe,
okay.
And the funeral home.
Right.
The really tall house with the bluish shutters, it's a cream stucco.
Oh, it's in Jenny's house.
Okay, so they are black, if you look at those half rounds. I was trying to canvass the neighborhood to see who had what.
Eric did my house as well, which is white.
Okay.
So what color?
I would have liked to go with the darker color, the black or the something like a bronze tone. Just if you look at how this house, I mean, it's calling out for some definition, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like I just got block white going here. So if I, went with a darker tone. Eric said he's done it several times. He mentioned the one house that's right here in town that I was talking about. But he said he's done it in a few different properties in Abingdon, so I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but there's one that's, it's not copper, but it's more of like a bronze kind of.
I thought that's what Edison's was, but maybe I just haven't looked at
Oh,
those. I mean, I don't know.
It weathers, doesn't it? I mean, it turns kind of darker as it goes.
Well,
I guess, I mean, if it's copper, it does, but I think if it's some kind of
You know,
It's gonna retain the
What
original
it's
color.
already
is it
original.
possible they could have been that and they were painted?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know what I think Edison's or whatever, they were put up with a,
I can't
Coat-
get it on my
coat, whatever.
iPad, but that's what's there. And I just took the 10 minutes ago. And that's the dark. So, you know, I mean, I know it's made in many different colors. You know, white or something like this would be like the most, I guess you call it traditional or whatever.
So you're asking for black or charcoal gray or?
Right, something in a dark tone. Mm-hmm.
I don't really have an issue with that, but, you know, there is that faux copper guttering and downspouts that looks like a new penny, but it always stays that. I would be opposed to that, but as far, if it were like a dark bronze or a
Mhm.
black or a charcoal gray,
Right.
I'm okay. I'm gonna make an assumption, well, maybe you can clarify. You were also gonna do round downspouts?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Oh, yeah, the whole thing is for, like you,
Okay.
the round downspout for the 6-inch round, half round, whatever they term it.
Okay. And those are the only two items that we're considering?
At this time, I actually have a back porch that I would like to get work done on. I don't want to change, I just want to make it a little larger. That'll be something I'll also need to present to you at some time.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, there were, I've owned the home just about 2 years, and if you can't really see from here, but the steps go back down to the back. And they were just fixed for me by the house. They're literally not even painted, they're just rough, and all I'd like to do is really take it just to the other point of the house, same type of thing, but just bring it out so there's a little, it's really just a walkway about 6 feet that's along this stretch. And I love it, it's very nice, but it looks terrible if you saw these steps, what they look like. They're literally, were just, you know, when someone wants to sell a home, they just quickly patched it. And it doesn't look good at all, so.
Well, we'll
yeah.
just, we'll consider the two items today. And to summarize, replace the fascia, going
Yes.
back with the existing dimensions.
Mhm.
And that'll be painted white.
Correct.
And in the guttering, we can approve the 6-inch half round, both guttering and downspouts, either black or charcoal gray. What we would ask is that before, when you decide on a color, please notify staff, just so
Okay.
we can document it, is all.
Okay, that's fine.
Anyone have any questions?
I move that we grant the certificate of appropriateness.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I would second.
Either one.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Webb?
Aye.
Mr. Weaver?
Aye.
Mr. Geisler?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye. The last thing is you've checked tax, for tax abatement. The threshold, and I'm sure Mr. Boswell has gone over that with you, is $2,500. Once you hit that, then the max is $25,000. But under the COA, just this one, bring the receipts after the work is done back into Mr. Boswell. He'll present that, he'll verify that everything's been done and paid.
Mhm.
Bring that back before the committee. We'll act upon it. Normally, we'll forward that to the town manager for his review and approval, and then that will go then to the tax department. That is only on the improvements.
Correct.
So you'll still get a tax ticket relative to the land,
Right.
but it should help on the improvements.
Okay, great.
Okay?
I think there was one other thing that we were just in line with what you're saying, the residency. You know, I live in New Jersey part of the time, so I'm here, but I'm not here more than half the year, and if that was
I
applicable.
wanted to check on that. To the best of my
Okay.
knowledge, I cannot recall any condition relative to residency.
Okay.
It has more to do with the property itself versus.
The ownership of the private, so
correct.
that's certainly is mine, you know, so.
Correct.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
very good, so, yeah, I think, I mean, I've been reaching, Eric and I have been talking a lot, so, texting a lot, so I believe he said his black guttering he had in stock, and that was more the preference, but
Okay,
I'll certainly
just
confirm that and let you know.
After today's meeting,
You just
Jason.
have Eric
I
contact
will.
me.
Absolutely,
Sure.
okay,
That'd be great.
all right, definitely.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, thank you again,
Thank you,
thanks,
sir.
I appreciate you all coming to help me
Sure.
out. Now, I'm not here all the time, but you look so familiar, did you, like, have a web alternate thing? You look very familiar.
If I may, just a second.
Oh, I haven't closed it out, I'm
Um,
sorry, I'm sorry.
That being the only item on the agenda today, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move, we be adjourned.
I have a motion, a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Webb?
Aye.
Mr. Weaver? Mr. Geisler?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye. Thank you all again.